Welcome into the Junior and Senior Nothing But Sports podcast. We're going to be picking NFL Week 3 games today. We did already pick Patriots and Jets yesterday. If you listened to that when I was doing my college picks, Pops went with the Patriots. I went with the Jets. So greatly, I'm up one, which I needed because, I have not been very good this season so far. But speaking of that, just to catch everyone up, basically where we stand. As far as my college picks go, I've been, pretty much picking those by myself. So my total record so far, college-wise, is, let's see if I can find it, 28-14. So, pretty much over 500 by a good margin. I did pick App State last night on that podcast that I did as well. I don't even know why I picked that game. I felt good about it, and I was so wrong. But hey, I took a nap, so I didn't even see the game. So nasty work by me, but 28-14 through 3 weeks, not bad. I will add my week 0 picks because that's what I didn't add because I don't have it written down on my paper, but I did pick all those games. And if I'm recalling correct, I believe the one I got wrong was I don't remember. Oh, well, the Florida State one was pretty much the only one I got wrong. And I believe every other one except maybe Northern Alabama I got right. So that will boost me up a little bit. So I'll be trying to find that out as this podcast is going on so I can add that to my total record. So it'll get me over 30 wins. But pretty good record so far. I'm a little disappointed in myself, especially when it comes to college because as everyone knows, or everyone that knows me knows, I'm on everything from Thursday all the way. So I'm definitely disappointed in myself. But I'm going to get better. There's plenty more weeks to go. And with the playoff, I'm going to have plenty more opportunities to get myself together. So, I'm from this day forward, I'm going to do better. Definitely. And obviously that didn't start yesterday, so I guess I'm lying already. But there's 3 games tonight. We got a ranked matchup. Just in case anybody is wondering, Stanford at Syracuse is going to be a pretty good game. I picked Syracuse to win that game. First game for Stanford in the ACC, so that'll be fun to see Ashton Daniels and Alec Iomanner go at it. Then you got number 24 Illinois and number 22 Nebraska. Big Ten top 25 matchup. I actually picked Illinois to go on the road and win this matchup because, quite honestly, Nebraska hasn't really faced a challenge yet. I picked Colorado to win that game, but I didn't. The game was over so quick that, it wasn't much of a challenge. I will say Nebraska didn't, just like I said in my other podcast, Nebraska did not score in the second half of that game. So Colorado had plenty of opportunities to come back in that game, but their defense actually did bulk up in the end. And they did last week against Colorado State, so I don't know if anybody's paying attention to that Colorado defense, but they have been a lot better. Really, the only game, their defense has actually been pretty good this season, to be quite honest with you. North Dakota State started off slow, second half, picked it up. First half against Nebraska, got ran all over. Second half, they stopped them. Colorado State, same thing. They really stopped Colorado State the entire game. So their defense has actually been better than people think. It's actually been their offense that's been a little slow, which is unexpected because they have way too many weapons. But anyway, my point is this is Nebraska's first real test of the season, a ranked Illinois team who we saw get a couple turnovers off of Kansas and Jalen Daniels. It'll be a packed sea of red, obviously, in Nebraska, as it is in every game, whether they're good or not. But I just think Illinois' defense is going to cause the same problems they caused Jalen Daniels is the same problems they're going to cause Raiola. I want to see Raiola against this Brett Bielema defense. So primetime Fox, that'll be fun. And then for a late night, we got San Jose State and Washington State. I picked Washington State to win that game. And I expect, Washington State to kind of win comfortably and not just because I'm picking them in the parlay thing. So Wazoo just coming off a big Apple Cup win, so I expect them to. And this is another home game too, so they've pretty much been in the state of Washington all season. So they're going to start off hot, and I expect them to take care of business. Now on to the NFL. So far, our records in the NFL through 2 weeks are. Let me see. Hold on, I just had it. All right. So far, I'm 14-18. And with the win last night, I'd be 15-18, and my father is 19-13. And after that loss yesterday, he's 19-14. So, I mean, we're almost neck and neck. Obviously, it's only 2 weeks. We've got 15 more weeks to go. We got playoffs, Super Bowl, and all that. So, like I said, I expect it to be close NFL wise. It's really close right now. So, I am back by 4 points. Obviously, we don't have any tiebreakers because we're picking different teams. So if we do end in a tie, I don't know. We're gonna pick an FCS playoff game or something to break it. I don't know, but so we'll see. But I doubt that. But let's go ahead and get into it. Jets took care of business last night. Just a quick thought on that. The Patriots aren't very good. I mean, I kept trying to tell people that. They're not that good. They beat the Bengals. The Bengals so far don't even look that good. So, but they did get an upset win because nobody thought they could beat the Bengals. So, especially on the road in first game of the season. And they had a shootout against Seattle. That's a game they could have very well won. So they could have been sitting at 2-0 going into that game. But again, when you're a bad football team, you find ways to lose games, and they lost that one. So they came into New York. Aaron Rodgers played great. Their defense played great, but the Patriots' offense isn't that good. So they really haven't. The Jets, since the Niners, Titans, Patriots, not good offenses. I mean, we don't know how good this defense is quite yet, but we'll find out shortly in the weeks to come. But because they have to play the Bills twice and they have to play the Dolphins twice, Tua or not, they still got weapons on that offense. So they've got plenty more tests to go. But again, great showing, a beatdown. Again, both of those games last night, I was kind of in and out of consciousness. So I was kind of up, and I saw the score, went back to sleep, came back up. So every time I woke up, both teams were getting the brakes beat off of them. So I'm kind of glad I was sleeping. But I'm up, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go tonight, and I'm ready to go all weekend as usual. We're going to save both of our teams for last. That's kind of going to be kind of how I want to do it, because obviously we have a lot to say about our teams. So I only think it's right that we save them for last. And they both have big games this week. So I'm just going to kind of go all over the board. We have 12 o'clock games. We've got 5 3 o'clock games instead of 2 or 3 like we had last week. We've got a Sunday night football, and then we have 2 Monday night football games. Don't forget that. If you're a football fan, you're watching the NFL, don't forget. We got a doubleheader of Monday night football. One game is starting a little bit earlier than the other, but they're both going to be going on at the same time. So, very excited for this week 3. And quite honestly, I'm glad they're doing the doubleheaders again like they did last year. I think it's fun. Monday night, you get 2 games, so if one's bad, you can switch to the other one. Rarely are they both going to be bad, especially last year. I think most of the doubleheaders they did games were coming down to the final minute. So I like that. Spread the games out. We don't need to have 48 games at 12 o'clock. Spread them out. Let us be able to get eyes on a lot of these teams so we can enjoy them or make fun of them, either way. But let us, experience more of that. Same thing college football is doing with the Friday night Fox stuff and all that. Spread these games out. We don't have to do everything Saturday and Sunday. You can play games on Thursday. You can play them on Friday. You can do Monday night. Hell, you can do Tuesday and Wednesday if you want to. 1 or 2 games here and there. That's just how I feel. Spread the games out. Let us watch more. And NFL is only going to make more money by that anyway because it's going to be on national television. So, of course, people are going to watch it. There's nothing else on. So I hope they continue that and they keep trying to spread it out. And I hope these networks say, hey, let's try to get these games on some other days as well so we can just get more football because that's what we all want. First game we're going to start out with, like I said, I'm going to go all over the place, so this is not going to be in order. We're going to start off with the big 2-0 game, Chargers at Steelers. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Steelers to win this game. I love the Chargers. I love Jim Harbaugh. There's questions about Justin Herbert's health, whether he's going to be good to go. And by the time we get to pick, I'm sure he'll be fine or he won't be. So I'm not sure. So with that, the Steelers being at home, they've played very well defensively. I think they match up well with that Chargers offense, who is not going to sling the ball all over the place, whether Herbert's in there or not. So I just trust Mike Tomlin. Not that I don't trust Jim Harbaugh. I just trust Mike Tomlin in this situation. Big game, home. People are going to be paying attention to it because one team's going to be 3-0. One team's going to drop 2-1. And then whoever loses this game, people aren't going to – they can't wait to just destroy one of these two teams just because they lost the game. That's all we're going to hear Monday. It's over. Relax. I just have the Steelers. I like Justin Fields. I did make a video the other day saying Justin Fields should be the starter unless or until he gets injured or they start losing multiple games in a row where he's not playing well. Russell Wilson does not need to start. I don't want to hear about how he's not healthy. That's bullcrap. I just think he's not starting. And I think that he's had injury history when he was at the Broncos, Seattle. He's had injury problems. So again, the fact that the Steelers paid him, do whatever you want. But this idea that people keep saying, I want to see what Russell Wilson has got. What do you want to see? They're 2-0 right now with a chance to go 3-0. What is it that you want to see? Because as soon as he gets in and they start losing, they're going to be like, oh, well, now we can go back to Fields. No, why would you do that? Go with the quarterback that's giving you wins, that's taking care of business. He's not turning it over. He's not throwing the ball all over the place. And he doesn't need to because that's not the type of system that Mike Tomlin wants to run. They're not going up and down the field throwing the ball everywhere. They don't need to do that. So give me the Steelers. Justin Fields, I think, keeps getting better. I think he takes another step. And I think this is really going to be an unwatchable game almost. It's going to be like 10-3. I don't expect a lot of offense. So if you're betting on this game, I would honestly stay away from any part of it. Whether you're just betting straight up or you're like doing the parlay bets where you just do like 10 different, just stay away from it. It's not good for your health. But give me the Steelers. Who you got in this game?
I got Chargers at the end of the day because Fields has to show me something. He has to show me that he can score touchdowns. Field goals isn't going to beat the Chargers. The Chargers defense and Jim Harbaugh, last I checked, most of the teams that he coached play smash mouth hard-nosed defense. And Justin Fields is going to be he's going to be in some trouble. It's going to be a low-scoring game as well. But there's no way I'm picking the Steelers to win this game. So
you don't learn. You didn't learn yesterday. You're gonna learn again. I'm gonna teach from week 3 on. I'm gonna teach the old dog a lesson. Got some new stuff to tell you. Now listen.
Okay.
That's sound analysis. Very, very sound analysis. I understand that. But I'm just tired of the. They're winning the way they're winning is pretty much the way that the Steelers have won is the way the Chargers have won. And now, Justin Herbert is, to me, he's far better than Fields at the moment. But Fields hasn't been, even when he was at the Bears, to me, he wasn't terrible. He was just in a bad situation. The weapons that the Bears have now are much better than the weapons that he had, other than DJ Moore, obviously. And the Bears look terrible on offense. Why? Because they got a young quarterback. I always thought they should have kept him and at least let him develop more and, add the weapons they added. But, whatever. My point is, to me, this is not about really who's better as far as quarterback. It's just about the entire game. And we both know both of these defenses are great. Nobody's going to be scoring points in this game. It's not going to happen. But when you have to go on the road and do that and score points against a great defense in the Steelers, when you got T.J. Watt breathing down your neck and Herbert's already hurt. I'm just saying. So again, this is a coin flip game, to be honest with you. I would not be surprised if the only thing that would surprise me in this game is if there's more than 20 points scored by the team, because the defenses are just too good. But we'll see. I feel like I'm going to be going up. I'm getting my mojo back, man. I'm getting it back. Because I don't, as my old coach Sean Payton used to say, we're going to get to him in a second, don't take the cheese. I didn't take it Thursday. I said, no way. But I ain't going to take it this time either. But no, 2-2-0 teams. One of them's going to start 3-0 and have everybody going nuts. But anyway, next, speaking of Sean Payton, Broncos at Bucks. Who you got?
You got Tampa. The Bucks, Broncos is just, I don't know. So they can get it going and get an identity going. I mean, Bo Nick's going to get better, but their schedule ain't getting any better. It's just getting a lot tougher. And we still waiting on Bacon to turn into a pumpkin. Hasn't turned into one yet. So, that, and I trust Tampa Bay's defense far more than I trust the Broncos' defense. Because last I checked, Sean Payton is an offensive guru. And ain't no Kubiak, I don't know, man. Question mark for Denver right now. Just talent-wise on both sides of the ball. Another low-scoring game. Or this could really get out of hand and Tampa Bay could put a beating on them. Game was tailor-made for the pumpkin.
We're going to have more analytics of our picks since, we're going to be picking all the way up to the Super Bowl. So eventually, people, I'm going to get it to where, because we are going to be going video at some point before, I don't want to put a date on it, but I'll say before holiday season gets started, before November and whatnot, so y'all can see our pretty faces. And y'all can see the cave, little mini cave set up. Nothing too crazy just yet, but we're going to have it all ready to go. But we will be putting up the analytics, not just the record, because I think you'd be surprised at your own tendencies and what you tend to do, pretty much. Kind of like how, for me, the Bucks are going to win this game, so I don't even want to spend too much time on it. But
I didn't either.
It's kind of like, for me, I have YouTube Music, so I know a lot of people have Spotify and other stuff. I like YouTube Music. So I think I don't know if it's every month. I know every year they definitely do it, but every so often they give you your analytics, basically what you listen to. And they'll show you what you listen to the most, what genre, they'll show you all kind of stuff. I don't know if they do that for Spotify, but they probably do. And I was actually surprised at some of kind of how it was broken down. So tendencies basically is what I'm trying to say. I got the Bucks. I'm not even going to try to be, I hate the Bucks obviously, but I can't pick against them right now because that little pumpkin, he hasn't turned back into it yet. He will. Mark my words. He will. I will say they played the Commanders, who defense I thought was going to be better, and it wasn't. Now, they did beat the Lions, so no, can't hate on that. But the Lions' defense has always been suspect. So he hasn't necessarily played a great defense yet. This Broncos defense is the best defense he will have faced all season. So I expect their defense to be in a situation to give Bo Nix the ball and say, listen, man, we're doing everything we can to hold down these tough receivers that the Bucks have. Y'all got to put some points on the board. I don't think they will. And to be honest with you, Bo Nix has actually played pretty good. There's a lot of people who didn't watch that game last week. They listen, man. They got guys out there dropping passes, fumbling. Now I get the interception in the end zone, and he even said it. He just threw it to the wrong team. It was bad. It happens, man. We've seen the top to the bottom throw bad picks. It's going to happen. That was his first one. That was just, yikes. I don't know where he was going with that football. Because had they scored, They probably could have won that football game had they scored that time. But the point I'm trying to make is, other than that play, there are receivers out here running bad routes, dropping passes, procedural penalties. So there's a lot more problems going on in Denver right now than Bo Nix. And Sean Payton, we love you, but, sir, I'm looking at you. I ain't looking at Bo Nix. I'm looking directly at you. You better get this stuff under control. These procedural penalties, receivers and tight ends just dropping perfect passes, nasty work. You better figure it out. Because honestly, I believe if you fix those things, I think he's going to be a lot better, number one. And he won't be prone to be throwing passes like he threw, because he's looking at his guys out here fumbling passes and having stupid penalties, just stupid penalties. So, come on, man. I expect y'all to be better this game. I don't know, man. As much as I hate the Bucs, I can't sit here and pick the Broncos to win. I would honestly be surprised if they went into Tampa Bay and won this game. Now, with saying that, we've all watched the first 2 weeks, and the silliest things have happened, the wildest things that happen. And I actually have a stat coming up at the end of these picks, but oh my God. So again, I would still be shocked because their offense has no life whatsoever. But again, these are NFL teams. It can happen. And we've seen that pumpkin. It's only a matter of time. I'm telling you now. But anyway, so we both got Tampa. Next, let's go Packers at Titans. To me, this game is, they're trying to get Jordan Love to go. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should sit him the minimum 4 weeks or whatever they said it was. Because if you try to get him back out there early and he gets hurt again, the next time he gets hurt, it's going to be over. So, and they won their game against the Colts, which I did not see coming. Matt LaFleur had a great game plan, running the football with Josh Jacobs. But the Titans really, they should be 2-0, to be quite honest with you. Their defense has played really well. They play complementary defense, and Will Levis is just giving the ball back to the other team. I mean, the idiotic things this young man has done. I wasn't a big fan of him at Kentucky. I thought he was fine. He had the stature and, he had the measurables. That's why he got drafted to me. I didn't see nothing at Kentucky that was just like, ooh. So, there's people out there saying he's playing good. Cut it out. Stop. When you make mistakes like that, now, the mistake that Bo Nix made, those are going to happen. The 2 mistakes he's made in back-to-back games are mistakes that they do in middle school. High school type of mistakes. Like, he ain't that acrobatic. He ain't that flexible. So, I don't get it. And he just keeps doing it. So, I'm going to pick the Packers to go on the road. And remember, the guy that's possibly starting, Malik Willis, is his former team. Not that he has any hate towards him, but, because they drafted him and paid him. But, yeah, get him to get – so, I guess you can call it revenge. But give me the Packers to go on the road, get this win. The Titans – we thought the Panthers might get the first pick. The Titans keep this up. They might get the first pick. But who you got in this Packers-Titans game?
I got the Titans feeling confident at home.
Oh, man.
I mean,
don't do this.
I got to do this because
you don't
Jordan Love
do
is not playing.
Well,
and I don't trust that.
He wasn't playing last game, and we both were wrong.
That's fine. But
and the Colts are a lot better than the Titans.
The Titans is a toss-up. Is another toss-up team. 1 week they cover Bayard, and the next week they beat a team you didn't expect to beat.
Well, they haven't beaten anybody so far.
Which is another reason why I'm picking them at home, because they don't want to start off 0-3. They're a better team.
Oh well.
I think they're a better team than that. No more than I think Baltimore's far better than them. Especially with the talent they got on their squad. So the Titans is, I think they're a better team than that. The Panthers are right where they're supposed to be, 0-2. They're supposed to be 0-2. The Titans, they just not 0. I just don't. Something about that squad, and I just think that, look, man, any given Sunday, I'm telling you that right now.
Oh well.
If you didn't learn, if Las Vegas Raiders didn't teach you anything when they went to Baltimore and beat them, then I mean you can't base anything off of regardless if Jordan Love is there or not. If Jordan Love was there, then it might my pick might be different. But that just goes to show you how good he is. Whoever they're sticking under center at Green Bay is going on the road at the end of the day.
This is a revenge game for that young quarterback, because the guy they got right now is the guy he was backing up.
Oh, he's gonna have to show me something. Until he shows me.
He didn't show you last week?
We're not doing last week.
I'm just asking. You say you want him to show you. I'm saying did he not do enough?
He's going to have to show me in tennis.
Because the Titans, to me, we can't even compare them to the Ravens. The Ravens, I believe, eventually will be better. The Titans are going to be terrible.
Teams that hasn't won anything yet.
The Titans haven't won anything.
I'm not going to give them terrible.
There is nothing about the Titans that, other than Nuke Hopkins, there is nothing exciting about the Titans.
I didn't say anything was exciting about them. I'm just telling you that they're not going. I don't really believe they're going to go 0-3 this weekend.
I get it.
I think at home they stand their ground and they pull out. They pull out a close win.
They should have stood their ground last week against the Packers, but instead he decided to do a dumb pass and got a turnover.
Exactly.
So I believe he will make another mistake yet again and cost them this game. Basically, that's it. It'll be a close game, of course, but I expect it won't be nothing that the Packers do to me that's necessarily great without Love. But
one of these teams is doing anything great.
Will Levis will turn the ball over, and Malik Willis will not. And not only will he turn it over, he's going to do something so dumb again. He might go viral again. Because that pick he threw against the Bears, I didn't know where he was going with that football. He single-handedly gave the Bears the win. Last week against the Jets, in the red zone, the man's falling on the ground and he just says, "Here, what are you doing?" Like you can't I don't know if you can unteach dumb like that. You can't.
Sports.
You can't unteach that. That's just a mental thing.
You can't fix it. You don't have to. Teach
I don't think you can fix that. I don't think you can fix his mind. He has to fix his mind. There's nothing the coach can say to him to stop turning the ball over. And they said that week 1. He came back out and did the same thing. And remember, this coach they have, young coach, new coach. Now, if that was my boy, what's his name? Their last coach. I forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank. But if that was him, that wouldn't have happened because he wouldn't allow that to happen. But this new coach, again, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans win because, like I said, they could probably be 2-0. But the quarterback for me is everything for this team. If they're going to have any shot at making the playoffs, which they won't, they'll be one of the worst teams in the AFC, no question about it.
I didn't give them none of that. I just said they're going to.
But the question is, can they not turn the ball over when it's necessary? But anyway, next let's go Giants at Browns. Who you got in this game?
I'm sorry, but the Giants are just they're just terrible. Now, this is terrible status. You see, Giants and Panthers are right there in the terrible category.
Wait a minute. Why are the Titans in that category? All three of these teams are 0-2.
Stop it.
What are you talking about?
Well, because the Titans are better than the Giants.
Why? How?
They just are. The Giants have a seasoned veteran at quarterback compared to what the Titans, and you already said they should be 2-0. So,
yeah, but because of the
quarterback, should the Giants be 2-0?
Well, they should. They could have won that Commanders game. They had it in hand.
They're not.
They won. They lost by what 2-3 points. So I'm just saying.
The Cleveland Browns are starting to pick their steam up after that loss to us in Week 1, and Deshaun Watson, that running back they got, number 27, is turning into a beast. Amari Cooper in the game, yeah. And, of course, Garrett is going to get back there on Danny Dimes at the end of the day because they have no offensive line.
Is he even playing this game?
Yeah.
I thought I saw something about him being hurt or something like that.
I think, I might have to check that again.
That's what I saw on the screen.
That defense overall is still pretty good.
No, it is.
And Danny Dimes is going to be in trouble. They have no offensive line. The Giants have no offensive line. They just don't. I've noticed that about that team these past couple weeks. They when Danny Dimes is in trouble, he's in trouble. Okay? Does he throw dimes every now and then? He does, but not against his secondary. So Give me, where's this game at?
Cleveland.
Give me the dog pound.
Oh, man.
You can give Danny Dimes a win if you want.
I really do want to pick the Giants to win this game.
Then pick them.
I don't know why. I just, I like that. Hey, man, Danny Dimes, he went to Duke. So I'm always going to have a love for a Duke, man.
Go ahead, pick them.
I can't defend him anymore. I've tried, but he's just bad.
Let you down every time.
He's just bad. He just has a turnover issue, and he just can't deliver the ball accurately. Now, none of that has anything to do with the fact that eventually they're going to get a win.
No,
Where they get it,
I'm not saying they're not going to get. They're not going 0-17.
where they get it, I have no idea. But they're
I don't know who they're going to beat. No, they play the Panthers.
For me, the Giants. Again, I don't think any team's going 17-0. No team's going on 17. So I think eventually, and based on what we've seen the first 2 weeks, we don't really know nothing.
They're going to play spoiler at the end of the season.
So
they might get
they can win this game. I'm just going to say that. The Browns have been the most 50-50 team so far this season. They look terrible week 1. They look great week 2. At home, they were terrible. On the road, they were great. That is just, so I don't know who they are. Again, the Giants aren't good. But to me, that really has nothing to do with the game, is because at the end of the day, Danny Dimes could come out here and have the game of his life, and they win this game, and won't change the fact that they're not good, but they can just win the game. So again, I'm not confident in the Browns in no shape, form, or fashion. I think they got that win last week, starting to feel good about themselves. I'm gonna pick the Browns. Just because of that defense. I think if that defense wasn't as good, I would probably go the Giants' way. Just because, again, I feel like the Giants are going to win games this season. Whether it happens early or late, to me, it doesn't really matter. They're going to win games. Because the Panthers and the Titans, to me, are two of the worst teams in the league. So, and the Rams might catch them with all their injuries. They just, they might just tap out for the season. So I don't believe the Giants are going to be the worst team this season. I just think the fact that they got ran over at home by the Vikings, and they had a chance to beat the Commanders in JD5 on the road in a game that was a field goal fest, and they couldn't do it. So, I think they're going to fight in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game that comes down to the end. But I'll take the Browns. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger on one of those type of upsets yet. But, again, I thought that the first 2 weeks, and you see what's happened. So, we'll see. Bears at Colts. I'm going to go... to be quite honest with you, I have faith in Anthony Richardson, but the way they looked last week against the Packers, I was surprised because I thought they'd go in there and get the job done without Jordan Love there, and they didn't. I'm going to pick the Colts to win this game. That would drop the Bears to 2-2, which is fine. They're going to. To me, the Bears are going to be a team that's fighting on the last week, where they need to win and another team to lose, one of those type of things. Caleb Williams has got to play better. It's just what it is. If he would have played a little better, they probably beat the Texans. But it was just throws where he couldn't just lay it in there. And they also had a lot of penalties. And I hate that. Anyone that knows me, procedural penalties, man. I hate it. And you got to go to Indianapolis. One of the hardest places to play is Indianapolis. I'm telling you now. C.J. Stroud, they escaped. They escaped out of there with a victory. We've seen the Chiefs. We've seen the Patriots. We've seen the Saints back when they were, in that Drew Brees. We've seen these teams go in there and catch an L. This is one of the toughest places to play up there in Indy. I'm telling you now. Give me the Colts to beat the Bears. Another one of those close games just because Anthony Richardson, to me, has not stepped up. Again, coming off an injury. It's early. I get it. But he just, man, other than a couple bomb throws, he really hasn't been that good. So, but I think he'll be good enough at home. Alec Pierce is quietly becoming one of the best deep threats in the NFL. I'm going to say becoming. He's been that. I just think people haven't really paid attention to him. And it sucks, but no. I mean, the man was with Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati, so, people pay more attention to Desmond Ridder than the other guy. But it's all good. I expect him to catch a couple bombs, and They're going to win this game by a field goal. Who you got, Bears or Colts?
I got the Colts. Caleb Williams is just struggling until he shows that he can throw accurately, consistently, and commandeer this offense. Other than that, I just think the Bears are going to struggle as long as he continues to struggle. Once he's able to operate that offense and put together some drives, decent drives, settle down, settle into the offense, let the game come to him. I got to see that. And going into Lucas Oil Stadium, I don't see that.
Yeah. That's what's going to be, all right, I think. Again, close game. I do think he will get better. It's still early. By the end of the season, I think he will be in rare form, I think. But right now, it's just nasty work. So, Colts at home, easy pick. Starting to agree here. Don't like that. This next game, it's kind of like that A&M and Florida game that I didn't care for last week. And it's just two teams that suck. You know, one of them that really, the other team let them come back in the game. Panthers at Raiders. I assume we're both going to pick the Raiders, so, you know, that's not even spend any time on this game.
No.
The Panthers are terrible. Bryce Young got – well, hold on, let me back up. Bryce Young got benched for Andy Dalton, and I will say the man's played. When he was at the Saints, he played the red rifle. He was rifling. He played all right.
He played the Saints that had weapons. Carolina has weapons.
He played all right, and then the couple times he has played for I think he's been on the Panthers like twice. So left came back. If I'm not mistaken, and he's won some games for them. So the man can win games. There's no question about it. He's been experienced. People forget he was on the Bengals. You know, the few times they made a couple of playoff runs, but you know. He started off well in his career, but they just couldn't make the playoffs consistently enough. You got Adam Thielen, so I don't think they're going to get blown out like they got blown out the last two times. I think Andy Dalton gives them a new confidence, a new ability to throw the ball, and to be honest with you, Bryce Young, people keep saying it's the organization, it's not him. I get it. I watched both of those two games. I'm telling you, people, there's plays to be made, and he just can't make them. The ball's not coming out accurate, and I don't want to hear nothing about the O-line and all that. Man, come on. When you watch him, when you look at him on the field, he doesn't even look like a football player. As sad as it is to say. You look at him, you look at C.J. Stroud, it's night and day. Like, they're not even – just take away the play. You just look at him. He's so small. He's fragile. He can't move as well as some of those other guys. And that's just what it is. He's smart, intellectually, football-wise, he's up there with the Mannings. Or at least Peyton Manning. But he just can't – it's not college. You can't just flick the ball 5 yards and let somebody go run down. Like, that's not going to happen every time. You have to consistently deliver the ball accurately, and he just can't do it. So we need to stop this organizational stuff. And that has part to do with it, but at the end of the day, they got all those trades they got where they gave away more, they gave away all these pieces. Remember when they gave away McCaffrey? They just gave away these guys. And obviously that was bad, because I'm sure he would love to have those weapons, but, you know, David Tepper, I don't know what to say about him as an owner. So I'm not saying they don't have nothing to do with it, but let's just stop acting like it's all their fault, because that's nowhere near close to the truth. He has to just play better, and he hasn't. Now, I'm going to tell you what happens. If Andy Dalton comes out here and wins this game, I'm telling you now, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. First things first, none of these shows that I watch, because I'm watching everything. Now, what y'all going to say then? Oh, well, you know, listen, if they come out here on the road in Las Vegas and win that football game, I'm just saying, it's the same players on the team. It's not different. The scheme isn't different. Play calls aren't different. Andy Dalton really can't run out the pocket like that either. I'm just saying. So, but anyway, yeah, Raiders get the job done. Again, both these teams aren't good. Let's not act like the Raiders went on the road and did something great against the Ravens. The Ravens were up 10 in the fourth quarter, and they forgot to run the football with Derrick Henry, and they let him come back in the game. So let's not just act like the Raiders all of a sudden. They'll be good eventually with Antonio Pierce, but they need way more weapons than what they got. And, they don't have that right now. So, yeah, Raiders. Next, this is another 3 o'clock game. Dolphins at Seahawks. Who you got?
I got Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks beat the Dolphins. Damn sure don't trust whoever the Dolphins got at quarterback.
Skylar Thompson.
Good luck with that.
Skylar Thompson, who, in fact, was able to win a football game. Well, not win, but he played very well in that playoff game that one year when they went to Buffalo, and nobody thought they had a chance. And they had a chance to win, actually. He's not going to be the second coming of Dan Marino, but I think he'll play well, honestly. He's been on this team for a couple years now. He's got some sort of experience as far as playing in big games. Geno, he's getting better. I thought the first week he didn't play well at all. Second week I thought he played better against that Patriots defense. This Dolphins defense is not good at all, so I expect him to have a field day. But I think people forget that the Dolphins still have Tyreek Hill, and they still have Waddle, and they won't have Mostert, I believe, but you still got all that talent and speed with A-Chain. They just need a guy to get them the ball, and Skylar Thompson can do that. It doesn't really matter where the game is. And since it's in Seattle, pretty good weather game. They usually are great in those type of games. It just when it gets cold, they seem to struggle. But you know what? Give me the Dolphins to win this game on the road. I think that we've seen a lot of road teams going the last 2 games and get the job done. The NFL has been weird. Not a lot of offense. A lot of road teams getting the job done. So I'm just saying, as I continue to grow with these picks and try to get better, I realize what's going on. And everything is not as it seems. So every now and then I got to go out on a limb here and go with the players basically that I think on the field. You got that speed and all those guys on that team, get them the football. And Scott Thompson, I think, can do enough to get these guys the ball and let them make plays. There will be no defense in this game, but I think the Dolphins get the last word because they have one of the best players in college or in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. So give me good old Dolphins to win and keep their hopes alive in the playoffs. Next, a game that is probably, I said the Chargers and Steelers was going to be ugly, and then you look at the Panthers and Raiders. This game might be one of the ugliest games we've ever seen. 49ers at Rams. I could literally flip a coin on this game. Nobody's playing in this game. No Debo, no Christian McCaffrey. Kittle's hurt. I mean, Bosa might, what is going on? What do they drink down there in San Francisco? How do these guys keep getting hurt every time? Every time. They're hurt. It's the same people. It's not different guys. It's the same people. On the Rams, they got offensive line. All their offensive line is hurt. Puka Nacua, I think, I got to go back and see if he's out for a couple weeks or he's out for the season. I have to go back and check. Cooper Kupp's not playing. They got defensive issues. I mean, this is going to be a preseason game almost. Again, I'm going to flip a coin. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Rams are at home.
I'm going Rams at home.
But I'm going to go 49ers. Simply because the only guy that's going to be there, Brock Purdy, you still got Trent Williams, one of the best tackles in America. And the Rams never beat – they cannot beat the Niners.
This might be their chance to beat them. They don't
nope.
have nobody. So.
Trent Williams, Brocky P. Running backs are doing well as well. We saw it. We might see a new star coming. Even when McCaffrey McCaffrey hasn't even played this year, and they've still been able to run the ball really well because their offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, and they are all healthy. It's just a lot of their skill guys aren't there, but you still got Ayuk, you still got Jawan Jennings. That's more than I can say for the Rams, who have nothing. So just based off that, give me the Niners. And also, Kyle Shanahan drawing it up against McVay. Oh, man, look at those helmets. Ooh. I like that. But anyway, got Stanford to Syracuse coming up in about 30 minutes. So I love uniforms. I love when they do the uniforms, especially in college. I wish the NFL would do more of that. But, they got all these rules and whatnot. Anyway, let's go Sunday Night Football, Chiefs and Falcons. Who you got?
Chiefs every day of the week. I don't see a scenario where Kirk Cousins can outplay Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. These people, this is a team that finds a way to beat you. Ugly, pretty, fancy, not fancy, close game, blowout, they find a way to win at the end of the day. So, unless you're going to tell me the Falcons have the type of defense that's just going to literally deal with Kelsey, Mahomes, and all them other weapons that they got flying all over the place, especially that rookie. I just don't see it. And I don't see a scenario where the Falcons' offense is going to put up the necessary points that they're going to need to beat Kansas City at the end of the day.
All right, folks, just listen up here. I did just write down Kansas City, so I'm still debating on it while I'm talking at the very moment. Only because at the end of the day, listen, Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. No, you can't debate that. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They have one of the best coaches, one of the best stadiums. We get all that. But at the end of the day, they're still human beings. They can be beat. I've seen them be beat, whether they're at their best or at their worst. It's happened, especially on the road. To be quite honest with you, this team should be 0-2. Ravens were a half a toenail away from likely winning that football game because they were going to go for 2, so they were going to win it or lose it. But again, toenail away, and then next week you get one of these pass interference calls, puts Kansas City in field goal range. They beat the Bengals. So these games have been close. They've been tight. I need people to understand what's going on here. Kareem Hunt's not going to play. They picked him up. He's not going to play. Pacheco's out. Hollywood Brown's out likely for the rest of the season. They said January, but again, for the rest of the regular season, he's out. So they're dropping like flies over there a little bit in Kansas City. And the running backs that they got, Carson Steele, you still got my boy Clyde the Glide, who's been, I think he's been hurt. So again, they're just nicked up right now. Kelsey's been, he's been there, but he hasn't been there. So I do think the Falcons, this is going to be a close game again. But this, again, primetime game. Now, I know he just won before, and I went against him, but I also went against Kansas City last week. I'm not going to do that this week. I think Captain Kirk has a good game, but primetime will come back to haunt him, especially at home. Give me Patrick Mahomes, and give me the Chiefs to, again, struggle out with a win. Next, Jaguars and Bills, part of a Monday night doubleheader. Who you got in that?
Josh Allen. I love Trevor Lawrence. Eventually that team is going to break out and have some serious success. But it's tough to play out there in Buffalo. That's number one. Number two, Josh Allen is just a flat-out beast. Everybody thought they were faltered because Stephon Diggs wasn't there no more, so he doesn't have nobody this and that. And man just finds ways to give you props. That defense is getting slightly better, especially behind my boy number 40, Von Miller, seasoned veteran, knows how to get after it. Got some people on the defensive line to compliment it. And Trevor Lawrence is going to they're going to make it a little rough for Trevor Lawrence. I love Travis Etienne. They're going to move the ball. But Josh Allen is the difference maker in this entire game. And when he gets going, especially when he gets out of that pocket, he just makes plays, man. Trevor Lawrence can pretty much do the same thing for the most part. It should be a fun little game to watch, to be honest with you, the more I think about it. And these are two quarterbacks that don't have a problem getting from back there and making a play when you need them to. I'm serious when I say that. But give me Josh Allen and the Bills at home.
Yeah, give me the Bills. I have no love for Trevor Lawrence. He really hasn't been good his entire career. Let's just be honest. He just hasn't been good. So, give me the Bills. I don't even want to talk about this game. I don't know. The Jaguars are weird. They're a weird team. Had a chance to beat the Dolphins in week 1. You let that lead slip away. And you really should have beat the Browns after the way they looked against the Cowboys. And you let them come in there and just do whatever they want. So, I have no faith in Lawrence anymore and Dougie P and those boys. Yuck. That's all I got to say is yuck. They do have Brian Thomas Jr., of course, so that will always give you a chance. But you're not beating them in Buffalo, sorry to tell you. Next game, which is also the other game on Monday night, LSU versus LSU. JD5 going to Cincy to take on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I have Cincinnati simply because they're at home and they just both these teams are, you got 1-1 and 0-2. So both teams reeling at this point, but JD5 got his first win last week, field goal win. But again, I think Joe Burrow gets it done. They get to 1-2. They get their first win at home on Monday Night Football, of course. Joe Burrow and the Bengals get the win. I'm not rooting for either team. I just want to see both my quarterbacks shine in this game. So I'm hoping that's what we get because, when's the last time you've seen this kind of game with 2 all-star, Heisman, 1 national champion, playing against each other on Monday Night Football from the same school? I don't think that's ever happened. I'd have to go look, but I don't think that's ever happened before. So, give me the Bengals. What do you got?
I got the Bengals. There's too much. Joe Burrow is eventually going to get it done. Jamar Chase. Until the Commanders get a little more firepower for JD5 and a running game going, they're gonna continue to struggle. They're gonna win some more games. Don't get me wrong. They're not in the terrible category, but they are in the struggling category. But that's definitely a team. That's one of those teams that's gonna rise towards the end of the season and pick up where they left off next season, where they're definitely going to be a problem. Because by mid-season, going towards the end of the season, they're going to realize that JD5 is going to need some weapons. He's going to need a solid running game. So he could be, he's no different than a Lamar Jackson because when he gets from back there, he's lights out. He could be lights out. In a blink of an eye, he'll score on just himself. So give him a solid running back and a go-to guy receiver or 2. And the Commanders are not far at all from being a serious, serious problem. They're just not going to be all that serious of a problem this year. So I got to go with the blind bomber and the Bengals.
All right. Got about 4 more games to go here. We've only disagreed so far about 5 of the games, so pretty good separation. Pretty much like the first 2 weeks as far as agreeance to non-agreeance. So we should see some separation here. I feel like I could almost go undefeated this week. Obviously, after my first 2 weeks, that would be a big statement because starting off 5-11 last week, so I was god awful. In week 1, I was 9-7, so I was pretty average. So I'm trying to get to double-digit wins here. I can't seem to do it in college or NFL. In college, I actually went 16-4 last week, so I was spectacular. And I'm not starting off good already with what South Alabama did, but hey, we'll see. Next game, let's go Lions at Cardinals. Interesting 3:00 game.
Who?
Lions at Cardinals.
Oh my goodness, this should be fun.
Cardinals, like I said, if Kyler Murray is healthy, this team looks very good. I got the Lions simply because I think that loss to the Bucs is going to wake them up to where you feel a little entitled, in a sense, because of the fact that you made it all the way to the NFC Championship finally, and you had the game in your hands and you let it slip away. And now, because of that, I felt like they thought that, that's the Bucs. We're at home, early game. Let's just go walk out here and try to get a victory. And that's what they played like. The Bucs came in there ready to play. They lost to this team twice last year, and especially in the playoffs. So they came in there to play. I believe the Lions will come in here on the road to play against Kyler Murray. I think now, to be fair, they did beat a Lions team they beat a Rams team that was banged up. So the fact that they won 41-10, you can't compare that to the way we beat the Cowboys. No, because number one, the Cowboys are a much better team that was healthy on the road. They beat a team at home that had nobody. So again, great win. You take care of business. That's what good teams do. But again, didn't beat anybody. I think the Lions are going to come here with an attitude. I actually think this is a beating. I think they come in there within a bad mood. Aiden Hutchinson gets to Murray a couple times, and he has a couple turnovers. And I think Jared Goff, after that, I don't know what that performance was last week, they come out and put their foot on their neck early. I think Dan Campbell will have these guys ready to play. So give me the Lions to beat the Cardinals. Who you got? Oh, damn.
Man, I got the Cardinals to beat the Lions in this one. Shockingly. Kyler Murray, it's been a while since he's been healthy, but when he's healthy, he looks like how he's been looking. And that could be a problem for the Lions defense. And Marty's got a weapon or two, and it's awesome. Now, defense is shaky, questionable at times, but I just think that they'll be pretty good. I think they'll do just fine at home and pull out. This might be one of those not high scoring games, but it might be one of those 30 to this. It might be in the 30s. And I give Kyler Murray to come out with the win.
All right, so I see that my father obviously has taken the cheese. And, it's unfortunate, but, he will learn. As I got burned last week, he will get burned this week. Let's got 3 more to go here. Let's go Texans and Vikings. Of the next 2 games we're going to pick after this is probably one of the most important games of the weekend. 2 undefeated teams. Vikings at home with Sam Darnold. Who you got?
Vikings at home with Sam Darnold. I love my boy C.J. Stroud. I really do. But something about the Vikings, that's something about they look pretty formidable with what they got right now. Healthy JJ, a paid and healthy JJ. Running game looks pretty good. Defense is something to deal with. Stroud is going to need all hands on deck. And that defense can't get back there on Donald. JJ and the rest of them boys will be their weight.
Oh, man. He just keeps taking the cheese, folks.
I'm not taking no cheese. I'm just making my pick. Bro.
He's taking...
Stop doing that.
He's taking the
I could go either team.
The proverbial mozzarella.
I could make a case for either team. I'm just giving you a pick.
Oh, I understand, but for the audience, I'm just letting them know what's going on. Give me the Texans to win this game. I think the Vikings, they've had fun first couple weeks. Congratulations, you've done well. Sam Darnold turns back into a pumpkin here. Nothing against, I have nothing against Sam Darnold, but you have to realize that at the end of the day, this is the NFL, number one. And like we stated earlier, or I stated earlier about that Chargers and Steelers game, is nobody's going to, in my opinion, go undefeated. So to me, they're going to lose more games, obviously, but the Texans to me are a better team. Both defenses are spectacular, but again, you play a banged up 49ers team and you play the Giants. So you haven't really, offensively, you haven't played a healthy, good team yet. So you come in with this now. I don't think the Texans are going to have Joe Mixon, but I think they'll be fine. I think Stroud, who knows he hasn't really played well the first two games, their offense has kind of been I think they fix that and get it together, because I think a lot of people, including my father here, are going to have the Vikings win this game. And, there's nothing wrong with that. They seem to be a good team. But to me, I think this happens every year where there's maybe two or three teams that get to a hot start and they start to flail. It's going to happen. It's just part of life in the NFL. It's going to happen. You're going to get a couple of those teams that start out hot. We're going to see that with Chargers and Steelers. One of those two teams are going to lose. It's just how it is. Just like there's teams that are going to start slow, get hot at the end. Much like the Bengals do every year. I think it's good for Sam Darnold. Happy to see him get wins, but I think this Texas defense is going to force him to be great. He hasn't been forced to be great quite yet, to me. He will be forced to be great and really show that, hey, those situations that I had with the Jets and the Panthers, this ain't that. And even the Niners when he was there for a little bit. I think, again, pumpkin status returns. Give me the Texans, C.J. Stroud, who I think, again, knows he hasn't played well early. He corrects that today, or Sunday. Give me the Texans. All right, last two games. I would argue the two most important games of the weekend, just for the significance of what's to come. We start with the 3 o'clock game, Ravens at Cowboys. Obviously, my father's going to have the Cowboys winning, so.
No, I'm picking the Ravens.
Yo,
Well, because we don't have a rush defense. I told you I do X's and O's. I don't do the fan picking.
Well.
We don't have a rush defense.
You did pick the Cowboys to beat the Saints last week. That did happen. Well,
I just told you.
No, I'm just saying.
Going off of last week.
You just said you pick X's and O's. You picked us to lose.
I gave you.
There was no X's and O's with that.
I gave you assessment on both teams and loaded. I told you that. I just said I give my team the edge and winning the game.
You knew your team didn't have no rush defense. They've been not having a rush defense. That's just not going to change.
I got the Ravens to beat us because we until we can stop the run, I don't see us stopping Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And that's my pick, bro.
Obviously I have the Ravens. This could get ugly. This could get out of hand very quickly. The Ravens, well, contrary to popular belief, the Ravens need this game a lot more than the Cowboys. The Cowboys can lose this game and still be fine. Anybody who listened to that schedule prediction that we had, I had them going 11-6, and even if they lose this game, to me, they're still on track to do that. It's just that, for me, they kind of switched the picks that I had. I had the Browns beating them. I had the Browns beating them, and I had them beating my team. They just switched wins. So, still we're going in 1-1. I had them going 1-2 into the next game. So, nothing has changed. Really, it's just the wins that they got were different. But they're still on track for me to go 11-6. What happened last week was such an anomaly. I set the trap, but still, I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. That won't happen again. This team, the Cowboys are a good football team. There's no question about it. I'm going to continue to troll him and hate on him because that's what I do. I don't like him. But I just think the Ravens, if they start 0-3, it's over. That goes to the Bengals too. They lose to the Commanders on Monday, it's over. Playoffs are done. I think like 5 teams have ever gotten to the playoffs after starting 0-3 in history. It's over. Okay? Because the Ravens haven't even gotten to their schedule yet. You got to see the Steelers twice with those defenses. A Bengals team that's going to be angry, obviously, desperately needing wins. And a Browns team who you don't know who you're going to get every week. So they need to start getting wins before they get into that schedule. I think they will. But to me, again, Cowboys lose this game, they're going to be fine. We'll continue to troll them when they lose because that's what we do. Or that's what I do. But, yeah, Ravens run the ball. I actually think they're going to try to pass the ball a little more because I think everybody in the world knows they want to try and run the football with Henry and my boy Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson, and they will. But they really haven't ran Henry that much at all this season for some reason. I don't know why, and I really don't expect them to do that this game because they haven't done it all season. They want to play their way and do whatever they want to do, which is fine. But I think they will be set up a lot better, not just because of Henry, but also you have Justice Hill and you have Lamar Jackson, who I don't think there's anybody that can stop him with his speed. Much like we saw last week with Shaheed and Olave and those guys, I don't think the speed they're going to be able to track that speed that a person like Lamar Jackson has. And Zay Flowers, for that matter. He might catch a bomb in this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win this football game because, like I said before, they're a good football team. I just don't see it because, again, their defense, see, they keep saying rushing, but at the end of the day, this defense in total has not been good against good football teams. It's just historic since I was born. You can track that. It's not a matter of hate or opinion. It's just factual information. When they play good teams, more likely than not, their defense, period, is not good. They can't cover, and they can't stop the run. So it's not just about the run. It's their entire defense. Now, that gets set up with the run, obviously, but again, man coverage, they weren't good last week at all. They just got beat. And again, once they play teams that are good, they just do not, for the most part, rise to the occasion. So until I start seeing otherwise, there's no reason for me to pick them to win. But, yeah, Ravens get the win. They stay alive. All right, finally, oh, man, what my team did last week. I didn't see it coming. What we did in week 1, I didn't see coming either. I thought we'd win. I didn't think we'd do that. And then we come back next week, and I did pick the Cowboys to win. No question about it. I set the trap perfectly, and they fell right in it. And we just did basically whatever we wanted. Now, I will say this. What we've seen the first 2 weeks will not happen again this season for us. We will not be scoring more than... I don't think we're going to score more than 44 points the rest of the season. It's not going to happen. Because anything like that, I think eventually the curse... Not only does the curse get... No one's necessarily called a curse, but you start to see trends. And this is a trend that we've never seen before. So I don't expect that type of success to continue. There's no way we're going to keep scoring on every single drive. It's just not possible. But I will say this. So I actually looked this up. The 2 scores that we have in this the 2 games we've played, 47-10, 44-19. The 44-19 score is the only score like that in NFL history, which is just weird. There's never been a score of 44-19. It's never happened. So then I kept hearing that, and I was like, I looked it up. It's true. So I actually went back and looked at the 47-10 score we had the week before. And I said, okay, let me see how many games has that happened. Turns out that's only happened 5 times, including that game against the Panthers. You know who the last team to do it was? The Saints against the Bills a couple years ago. Went to Buffalo and beat them 47-10. I don't remember if Josh Allen was playing, but I think he was. And that I remember that season. I think we started like 1-2, and then we got on a roll, and that was kind of really one of the starts of those couple of years where we had Sean and Drew, and we're making the playoffs and getting robbed a couple times, But that is just odd. The last two scores, the last two games have only happened a combined record of 6 times, and we've got 3 of them in history. So just a little, fun fact. But the Panthers aren't a good football team. We all know that. The Cowboys, I think, are a good football team. And I think the Eagles are a good football team. I'm not going to pick against my team twice. Obviously, I have the Saints winning. I do not think we're going to blow them out by any stretch of the imagination. They're trying to see. Well, I just saw on the screen earlier that A.J. Brown has been he's out, so he's not playing this game. They definitely need him. I just don't see how they're going to be able to put up a lot of points. Jalen Hurts is a problem, no question about it. Saquon Barkley is a problem, but he's going to have to run into the wall that is this New Orleans Saints rush defense. And when Barkley can't get going, now you're going to force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball down the field on this defense. And again, this defense was susceptible to big plays against the Cowboys early. Eventually, we clamped down, got some turnovers, a couple things went our way. I really wish we need to stop with the penalties, the holding, pass interference. Some of them, I really think the refs are just, because of the reputation we've had with that, they'll throw a flag that's really unnecessary. But we've got to stop putting ourselves in positions to have these flags being thrown, because that's really annoying. That could ruin some games for us this year. So we really got to stop with that. Now, I will say, both those penalties that we had, the guys that made them, they didn't make up for it with picks. So, I mean, congratulations to them. But you get a healthy Tyrann Mathieu. He's looking like the old Honey Badger. You got a Debo. I'm not sure if Marcus Lattimore is playing. I'll have to go check. But if he is, no A.J. Brown, oh boy. And the best receiver you got is Smith. That he's gonna be on lockdown island all day. So I think they're not gonna be able to run the football, and then you're gonna force Jalen Hurts to throw down the field, and he just makes mistakes left and right. So I think we're gonna get at least 2 turnovers in this game. Again, if we score 40 points again, I will be shocked yet again. I just don't see, and that Eagles defense is awful, no question. But we just can't. There's no way we're gonna keep scoring every single drive. That's gonna stop. And the question I have for my team is, what are you going to do when you face that adversity? If the Eagles come out early, 3-0, 10-0 first quarter, that's what I want to see from my team. The first 2 weeks were great. We're partying, we're dancing, we're drinking, doing all that. What's going to happen when it's time to face? Because these next couple games we got, this might be the hardest schedule in NFL history. You got the Bucs coming up. You see how they look. You got the Falcons coming up next week. And then you got the Chiefs 3 weeks from now on Monday Night Football in Kansas City. So if we win these next couple games and the Chiefs handle their business, this could be, little Rams Chiefs like we had before. This could be one of the greatest games of all time. But we don't need to focus on that right now. Just focus on beating the Eagles, keeping the offense good. Again, we're going to be punting eventually. So how does Derek Carr keep his composure, keep the team galvanized with him, Kamara, and the great job Clint Kubiak has done, and Dennis Allen handling that defense? That's another great thing about this team. Dennis Allen can worry about the defense now. He can continue to keep that defense, get them better, stop the penalties, and let Clint Kubiak run the offense. It's very simple. Everybody has a job now. But the head coach's job is to get these guys focused, stop the procedural penalties, stop the pass interference and holding calls, and just continue to show effort. You saw that play when Kamara ran that touchdown from the star, and that wasn't even the best part about that play for me. The best part about that play for me was seeing big Cesar Ruiz running down the field, almost lockstep with Kamara, just waiting to block somebody. That's That's what playoff football teams do. That's what they look like. One of the other plays I liked was when Harris, I think CeeDee Lamb was in the end zone about to catch a pass, and Harris I thought he almost killed him the way he hit him. That's the type of stuff we need from this football team. Those two plays that I just said, it wasn't about the touchdown or the incompletion. It was about the effort that was put in. And our defense has been great for a long time, except for the 1 year, a couple of years ago. But the thing that is going to make that defense even better is getting turnovers like we have and hitting people in the mouth. And we hit the Cowboys a lot. Matthew was hitting people. Demario Davis is just amazing. And that hit that Harris had on Lamb in the end zone was, man, I haven't seen us hit somebody like that in a while. So that's what I want to see from this team this week. Obviously, I don't want us to be down, but I would like to see us, if we're down early, maybe we come out a little lackluster because we're feeling high about ourselves. Derek Carr's doing the Mike Jack. There's a lot going on. But how do we respond to if we have some in this game? Like, we may come out and run them over. I don't know. But I'm just saying, eventually we're going to have adversity because we're going to be playing better teams every single week. What do we do when we're down? And what do we do when it's not our day, when it's not clicking? Can we win an ugly football game? When Sean Payton was here, we were winning those ugly football games because Drew was hurt. He was winning it with Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian and Teddy Bridgewater. Come on, man. Two of those guys are retired now. So what I'm saying is, let's not get too ahead of ourselves by thinking because we beat the Cowboys and we're 2-0 that all of a sudden it's just time. No. Focus on the game at hand. Focus on how to beat the Eagles. Do not take this team lightly because we know their defense is bad and they don't have A.J. Brown. Go put your foot in their cup and run them over like you've done every other time. But again, I would love to see, some adversity just to see how they handle it and see how they go. But what do you got in this Eagles-Saints game?
Saints. Pretty much it. All I gotta say.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I get it. Nobody thought that, we could do anything this season. And quite frankly, I didn't know what was going to happen this season. I'm not going to sit here and act like I did. I didn't know. I was a question mark. But now everybody's on, now you got to take us seriously. Okay, well, that's great. But to see the thing that y'all do is, if we somehow end up losing this game, no, they're not for real anymore. Because we lost to a team that's still pretty good. So y'all got to make up your mind. Y'all either going to be with us or you're not. So don't do the thing where it's just because it's popular to do, jump on the bandwagon, and then all of a sudden we lose the game and, they're not for real anymore. Cut it out. Like I said, I want to see, there's some things that as a Saints fan, obviously, I'm looking for that other people aren't looking for. And those are the things I just laid out. Effort, tackling, and adversity. We haven't had, one of those things we haven't had yet. The other two we had in the first two games. Let's see if we can keep it going. And I heard Tyrann Mathieu's interview, a couple of his interviews he's had this week, and that's basically what he said, as we got to keep it going. It's just getting started. This schedule that the good boy Roger Goodell has given us, it's almost as if he hates us or something. But just remember, the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year, so don't, But, yeah, it's going to be a tough year still, guys. So all I'm saying is I need to see them at some point be down or in a situation where they have to make a play. But, great start. But, yeah, great pick session. Like I said, I was 5-11 last week, so, I'm just trying to have a winning record this week. Just that simple. But that's going to be all for the podcast. I'll probably have some reaction games Sunday.
our reactions either sometime Sunday or Monday and Tuesday following before we get to next week. So just stay tuned and enjoy your weekend and have a great football weekend.